It should come as no shock to anyone that we are living in a very sexualized culture, one which targets younger and younger members of society each and every day. Not a day goes by that some disturbing news of child sex predators, traffickers, groomers, and even companies, think Balenciaga, are being exposed, leaving parents to hold onto their kids even tighter before kissing them goodnight. It's in that vein that I'm sharing this story with you, 5 tips for parents for helping kids avoid sex predators and groomers. It stemmed from a recent article I read that shared tips from a child crimes investigator, Terra Avilla, the mother of 3, an investigator with the district attorney's office in Susanville, California, had the following important tips she practices and follows with her own kids. Number 1, no sleepovers. She's quoted as saying, "I would not let them attend sleepovers. Of course, this always draws a huge backlash, but after 11 p.m., there is nothing productive and good happening there." Hard to argue that point. She went on to say, "While I may trust the parents of my children's friends, I have no control over who else may pop in while the kids are in there. The friends of their siblings, friends of their parents, neighbors, etc." Certainly something to think about, folks. It's been known to happen. Number 2, no Snapchat. Nothing good comes from this app. She unpacked this further by saying, put all of their social medias on private and refrain from talking to strangers on any social media platforms. Expanding on this, she went on to say, predators utilize fake accounts, pictures, even fake videos, phone numbers, etc., to persuade young minds into thinking that they are their peers. Once they feel like this person, predator, is their friend, they have groomed them into sending photos and other personal information. Children are very trusting, and with less exposure to the evil of the world, it is hard for them to believe that this peer they have been communicating with for the past couple of months is not really who they say they are. Not just children, Tara. I would argue that these days, adults fall into this camp as well. Number 3, no keeping secret with outside adults. Children need to know that an adult should never tell them a secret, she said. Also, children should be told that they can tell you anything and that no matter what anyone else says, you will love them no matter what. Makes sense. As a parent, you might simply take it for granted that your child knows this, but it never hurts to reiterate it from time to time. She arrived at this conclusion based on first-hand experience she shared. I have taken many heartbreaking cases where the perpetrator threatened to harm the victim's family, their sibling, their pet, etc. The victims are often told that the suspect's behavior is their fault and that they will go to jail if they tell, etc., you name it. She also went on to say it's really important that a child understand there's a big difference between having a secret and keeping a surprise, as it can be confusing for them. Number 4, don't force your kids to hug or kiss people they don't want to, not even family members. Her reasoning for this? I know that this may sound really mean, but it's their body, and if they don't want to give the nanny or Uncle Leo a hug goodbye, then they have the right to do that and set boundaries. Number 5, kids shouldn't use silly names for their private parts. She feels that the parents should teach kids the correct names for their private parts. The reason being is that if something were to happen, investigators would have an easier time uncovering the truth if they knew the proper terms. Personally, I think the biggest threat to your kids' well-being mentally, physically, and spiritually is the iPhones and tablets. I get it. When they're young, these devices serve as readily available babysitters. But remember, these devices and the games targeted at small children are all engineered to create addicts. I've seen 2-3-year-olds playing with these devices, and when the parents try taking them away, all hell sometimes breaks loose. Some would call this a clue as to what impact it's having on their kids. Plus, I can guarantee you that as they get older, they'll only become more addicted and more socially stunted. Just because they're texting and or on social media apps doesn't mean they're acquiring skills that will help them engage their peers and society at large. They're having essentially one-way conversations devoid of learning how to engage physically with another human being in person. These devices are not making your children smarter, no matter what you may be telling yourself. Yes, they can help them acquire more information, much of it useless, I'm afraid, and while the remaining amount may give them some useful knowledge, these devices won't give them wisdom. In closing, Steve Jobs is quoted as saying that he would never give his own children an iPhone. You mean sort of like a crack dealer refusing to give his own kids crack? Wonder why. Anyway, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Please post any comments you have. Share this with friends, family, whomever. If you're watching this on YouTube, like I said, subscribe to the channel. Also, please follow me on my Rumble channel and subscribe there, because sometimes YouTube gets a little picky and you know what? You're not seen for a while. So this way I can always be assured that you're seeing my video and my content in other places. And as always, please share this with friends and family. I'm always trying to grow the channel. And like I said, I welcome your comments and I will see you next time.